Halloween, 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 Super Shamrock.
Happy Halloween!
Oh, damn it. Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
And of course, Adrian says happy
I know
Halloween.
you couldn't hear
too.
Adrian's. Yeah, well, she's being the invisible woman, so I think right now not only did she had made herself invisible, she may have also muted herself.
Well, she's not muted. She's not muted.
No. She muted like some a voice box in the costume.
What the hell was that?
Oh, there.
Hi, Zach. Hey, how's your shoulder doing? Zach, how's your shoulder doing?
It's doing okay. Doing pretty good. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of fun, but doing okay. So I'm dressed up like a dork. So looks like
no. The actual term.
I'm dressed up like an old Jeremy. That's what it is, with no hair.
Oh, don't say that. That's a nice name. No hair. And Brad is here. I honestly did not.
I was about to say, look who's in the house, Jeremy.
Yeah, I did not think he was going to be on because I know that he is on location. And speaking of which, I'm actually going to be leaving this show in 45 minutes because I'm actually going on location with Brad. So, and it's an hour and a half drive for me to get there.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Wow.
Hey, Adrian's on her way here in a minute, so you guys have fun.
All righty.
No more of that weird music, though. No more of that weird music.
You never heard that before?
I have no idea what that was. And I've listened to some weird stuff in my day.
That came from Halloween 3.
Season of the Witch, Silver Shamrock.
So, hello, Denise.
Hello, Denise.
And also, I do have an announcement to make. It finally got scheduled earlier today. My next surgery, which is going to be for my nose, is going to be on November 29th. And I have no idea how long that's going to take me out. So, with that being said, Supernatural Talk, we're not going to be doing a show on Thanksgiving, obviously. So the previous week on the 16th, that is going to be my last date for this show until I heal up and can get back on camera again.
Well, hopefully you heal up pretty quickly.
Yeah, hopefully you do.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then I also got one other. Oh, wait. Look who's on. Look who else is on. Just joined in. Wow.
What's up? I figured I'd log in for just a second to tell everybody, hey.
Looking good.
Mighty scary.
I'm at my conference.
Oh,
conference?
Yeah. The PAX are doing a raffle for a night at their house. Put it back on their thing.
Huh?
So go to Pac-Man Paranormal and also go to Hauntings of Fort Duffield, their group pages. There's a flyer out there. Buy raffle tickets for a chance to win a night at their house, dinner, and a ghost. And let me tell you this, I personally have been there, and it is a wonderful location to go to.
Good.
So be sure and check it out. Look into it. Buy those tickets.
All right, I'm fixing to go back to my Halloween
Lord,
costume
this is not
contest. I
fair.
just wanted to drop in and say hello to everyone since I was actually dressed up. I was like, I can't bypass this.
And too bad Adrian's not here to see you.
It's too bad you weren't
Let's
selling. It's too bad you weren't selling this year, Eileen. What the hell? I'm Jack now. I love it. That is awesome.
I am
Joe's
severely
asking,
under.
where's your Halloween mask, Jeremy?
This is my mask.
Huh?
This is my mask.
I love
There you
y'all
go.
because it's just get loud. There's a group of people heading my way, so it's just get loud. So I love y'all.
Love you too.
Take
Have
it.
fun,
Bye.
buddy. So tonight we have a special guest, very special guest. He has been Adrian's mentor since the start of her journey in the paranormal field, Denny Murray. Hi, Denny.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
So,
Doing great.
just like with every other guest, Denny, let's find out who the hell you are.
I am what just drug in and left on the back porch. They wouldn't let him drag me in the house, so that's where he left me. I wandered in and sat down, and here I am.
Here you are. Ooh, better hide your necks, folks.
Yeah, you better.
He's gonna.
I don't have any. Hey, I'm Jack, so I don't have to worry about my neck. I'm already dead.
There
Yeah,
you go.
You still suck the bone marrow out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, since I am
absolutely.
dead, I could take off my head.
Okay. That could be interesting.
Adrian, where are you?
I don't know
I
where
told
that
you,
girl
she's
is.
the invisible woman this year.
Obviously. Adrian! So,
She's making a dramatic entrance, you know.
oh, she knows how to do that, all right.
She'll come in, trip, and fall into
Yeah.
the fish tank.
So, okay, so Denny, how did you get into the paranormal field?
Okay, let me retract the fangs. Ugh. Let me retract the fangs.
Now,
Oh, that's much better. The way I got into the paranormal field was that I was essentially born into it. My parents were both mediums, my sister, my grandparents. So I was born what they call behind the veil. I am a call baby. And traditionally, they have gifts that come with them. I did, but I didn't really recognize them for a long time. And so I've always been in the paranormal. But when I got into the paranormal, we're talking back in the 1950s, you didn't talk about it. I mean, you just, good Lord Almighty, there she is.
Oh my
shit.
God. Oh, jeez.
A vision of loveliness.
Yeah.
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 Oh, man.
There she is.
Wow.
I tell you what, that's one to dream about at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to wake up with the wrong kind of wet bed.
At my age, dear, that can happen anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I'm getting there. So what are we talking about?
They're talking about how I got into the paranormal.
Okay.
And it was easy. And like I say, I was born into it. I'm a coal baby, born behind the veil. I didn't know that until Adrian let me know. And so I was born with certain abilities, and I didn't realize it. And like I say, when I was growing up in the 1950s, the paranormal wasn't anything that was talked about. I mean, they'd call you crazy, and they could literally take your kids away from you, or or put you in a mental institution. So we just kept things quiet. And we didn't tell our friends about it or anything. It was just something that we did. And there were a few friends that we had that were also into it, but everything was just kept hush hush. Totally different than what it is today.
It was pretty hush hush when I was growing up. I had a friend that thought it was real cool. I don't know what she thought she was doing. From what I understand now, it's probably, guys, I can hardly see what's going on. I don't have glasses on. I can see my name, but that's it.
Jill
You'll have to
says
tell me what's
you look
going on.
absolutely fabulous.
Thank you, honey.
Jill's saying you look fabulous. Yeah.
Thank you. But I know now that I think she was into black magic and conjured something up that was like making shovel noises at her basement. And this was like 7th grade. I think she got a hold of a book and decided to do what she wanted to do. And I don't know how she turned out, but I didn't go back.
Probably a good idea. I mean, if you're hearing shoveling noises in your basement and you picked up a book and you don't know what you're doing, probably a good idea to stay away from there.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how she turned out. I often wonder, but I'm not going to go find out. That's not for me to do.
Nope. Just leave that in the land of, I wonder what happened.
Yep. Yep. If I was meant to know, I would know.
That's exactly correct. And, but you know, as I grew older, I think I was about 8 or so is when I had my first real experience. My folks were holding a seance, and they were holding it for a friend who also was interested in the paranormal, had an experience or two, and her husband wasn't in with the paranormal, and they were doing table tipping. And I'm, like I say, about 8 years old, and I'm huddled up on the couch on the other side of the room, just keeping my trap shut, seeing what's going on. And this woman's husband kept making comments, oh, this is nonsense, this is crap, they're tipping the table, and all that. And all of a sudden, that table jerked out from under their hands and flew across the room at him. He was standing by the front door. He went out the front door, the table crashed into the front door, and he never came back into the house again after that.
That's probably a good thing.
Yes, and I was sitting there on the couch with my little jaw hanging open, and that's when I realized this is for real, and there are things you don't mess with, and there are things you don't do. Yep. And he found that out too that night. When they would have seances after that, he waited in the car. He wasn't going to come in the room.
That's probably for the best.
I think it was.
What, Nick?
What?
What'd you do?
He's got pumpkins falling all around.
Oh, you keep freezing.
He's lagging on us now.
Yeah, it's like it'll stop for a minute and then start again. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on, I'll be back in a second. I gotta try to restart this.
Okay.
Boy, we could be in trouble, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so since you did that, and if I remember right, you couldn't, there was you became part of the community, let's put it that way, where you couldn't really be open about it.
Exactly. It was not something that you were open about. You just, as my dad said, you just kept your mouth shut around anybody but us.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was. And when I look at the paranormal community now, and when I look at what's going on now, what we're doing right now could never have happened back then. I mean, even if the technology was there, this wouldn't have happened. I mean, it wouldn't. And the chances of us ever knowing each other, unless we happen to be in the same town and had a chance meeting, it simply wouldn't have happened, because it was taboo.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Well,
Is
I
it
grew
better
up
now
in
from my
church,
end?
so- Huh?
Is it better now from my end?
Yeah, for now. You were good for a long time, and then I don't know. I can just see like your outline more than anything. So I can see when you quit moving, when your pumpkins quit hitting you.
Well, I just
was
want to make
that?
sure that I just want to make sure that it's not lagging. So that's why I want to try to start over.
Did you hear the echo?
That was me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking care of something
Okay,
here
you
on
know
the forms.
I think I just realized I'm lacking from my side, because like when I talk, it's like there's like the space in between. So
No, you're good now. You're good on this side.
okay, all right then.
Yeah, your words match your mouth. They may not match us, but they match your mouth. Let's not mess with a good thing. Okay, so yeah, I was saying that I was raised in church, so you didn't do that.
No,
And I think a lot of that stems from the witch trials. People were scared to say anything.
exactly.
And I think to a point they were for a very long time, probably, when you were growing up as well. But then people started seeing that as demonic. And then,
Exactly.
so no church.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where we begin to play a role in what's going on, because the church still demonizes what we're doing.
It does. Yeah.
Yep,
And
they do.
yes,
That baffles me.
and I spent 30 years as a pastor, and I know what the church does, and they demonize it. And therefore, people who are having situations can't speak up and say, hey, I'm having this going on in my house, because if they do, well, they're immediately in trouble with the church.
But yet,
Yep.
think about this. When it comes to, like, if somebody needs an exorcism, the church needs the evidence that only we can get
That's right.
to them in order to help the people.
That's right. And the church doesn't want to deal with it. The church will say that every time we communicate with a spirit, we're communicating with a demon that's pretending to be that person.
Yeah.
And there's no scriptural basis for it at all. But
No, as a matter of fact, ghosts exist in the Bible.
Of course they do.
They do.
Nowhere they don't.
Yeah, the Holy Ghost.
That's right.
No,
You've got
even
the-
past that, I
Yeah.
understand if it was just the Holy Ghost and they cut it off there, but it's not. I mean, there is more scripture about spirits, seeing spirits.
That's correct. Well, it's like we go into the Old Testament when they called Samuel up from the grave. Now the church immediately says, "Oh, that wasn't Samuel. That was a demon. That was a demon." But Scripture says it was who it was,
Yeah. And I
and
think
they
that's
don't
why.
want to admit that.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people are turning from the church, and just if they want to worship, they're worshiping at home, because it's everybody tries to read the Bible as they want,
Yes,
and it doesn't work that way.
Wow, Jill.
not very,
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, I get.
not very well.
See, Jill's kind of giving like Jill's kind of giving an example of that, saying a deacon of a church who I thought was going to be my friend told me I needed an exorcism criticism that my gifts aren't gifts, it's a curse. And as a result, she's not friends anymore with him since then. He must still think
Good.
that she's a demon still, apparently, because of her gifts.
Well, sweetheart, every time you walk by him, just go.
That's right. They'll leave you alone.
or just give me a call because I go,
Absolutely.
You know, people's opinions is the problem. It's not that people don't want to go to church. It's they don't want to be made to feel like they're beneath somebody or that somebody is holier than thou.
That's right.
I don't understand it.
It's a
never
mess.
will.
It's a mess.
So we do have a question for Denny. When you were younger, did you ever find yourself talking with somebody that was there and somebody saw you?
No, I was very careful about that. Very careful. I'd been told that if anybody ever found out, that they'd take me away from mom and dad and they put me in an insane asylum.
And that's probably true.
It was true. They weren't kidding. And so if someone was talking to me from the other side, I just did not respond to it.
Yeah.
You just didn't. And last night, for instance, I was watching YouTube and somebody called my name. I heard it just plain as day. Hey, Denny. I did not respond at all. It's like the old memories kicked in, and it's like, nope, not gonna do that. Not gonna do it.
Not me. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
what do you want?
Yeah, what do you want? Normally that's me, but I would just caught so off guard, and it's like, no. And I asked my assistant manager here, Anthony. I asked him. I said, "Did you just call my name?" He goes, "No." And I said, oh, "Okay, somebody did."
Yep.
Yeah, and they didn't call it again. So I figured they were just passing through, wanting to say, "Hey."
That's good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough with me. And well,
I do have a follow-up question for you on that.
Okay.
When surely now you'd be able to tell, but back then, when you were younger, could you tell the difference if you were talking to somebody who was alive and someone who wasn't?
Oh yeah, I can't explain the feeling, but it's an internal feeling. You feel, how to explain it? It's like what it is it's affecting you inside rather than just outside. If we're talking to each other, I'm hearing your voice, and there you are, and your voice is coming at me from the outside. When I'm talking to somebody on the inside, it's from the inside. I'm hearing this voice. I'm getting the impression, which more often than not, that's what I get rather than actual verbalized words. I get it's processed through to me into my mind. So yeah, I can tell the difference. I've always been able to tell the difference. Well, no, there've been a couple of times when I've heard somebody call my name and I turn around and go, "What?" And it's like, oh crap, there's nobody here. Okay, what do you want?
Yep.
Who are you and what do you want? You know,
I can only remember a couple of times ever audibly hearing my name.
yes.
But like you, and like the way I explain it to people is they put words in your head that, if you know yourself, those words aren't yours.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that what you're thinking is not yours. And that's why they tell you meditate. So you know
Right.
yourself and you know what you would think and what you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
And that's the most layman term I can put it.
Yeah, exactly. We need as paranormal investigators, we need to know our feeling, our mood at any given instant, because if all of a sudden that mood changes and there's nothing to come at us to change that mood, if all of a sudden that mood changes, then that's not us. That's something else. That's energy from spirit that we're hooked into. Our empathic kick in, and now we're experiencing the emotion and the mood of somebody else. And that's why it's important for us to know how we feel.
Yep.
How do I feel getting out of the car heading towards the house? How do I feel when I look at the house? What information am I getting from it? And that gets me started on any investigation.
Yep. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and tell the story.
Go
I
ahead.
know my friend wouldn't mind. Last week, Denny sent me a message with an impression he got. And it's like, I didn't think another thing about it. I let it go. I went to bed and I dreamed it. I dreamed the rest of the story. And it's like, what on earth is this? So our little group, Jan and the girls that come spend the night once in a while, I put that in the group. I'm like, anybody got any ideas? And Jan's like, just post it. It belongs to somebody. Just post it, but don't post the whole story. Post partial. And whoever it resonates with will get it. And I'll be damned if one of my friends didn't say, I had a dream last night that said, call Adrian. What? She was from New Mexico. I'm like, why would you? What? And I thought, oh. And I said, hey, so I got this. And she says, that's really strange because we need to talk. So why do we need to talk? She said, well, this guy that I've been seeing for, well, I knew she had been seeing him. He did her really dirty. He about hurt her really bad physically. He's not into good things. And she has a way of maybe not choosing the right men. So she was like, I knew I shouldn't have done this. I knew I shouldn't have, but I did. And I was going to go move with him. I said, you were what? She said, it's funny how you always just come in when you're supposed to. I said, well, this time it wasn't me. She goes, that's so strange because he doesn't know me. I said, no, the spirit knows he knows me. And so it took all of us to put this story together, put it out there, and it was meant for you. So she did promise me she's not going to go with him. She's losing contact with him. Nick, Jeremy, do you remember that post that we put out last week?
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Well, we found out who it belonged to. Usually we don't do posts like that. And we don't do that for a reason because, unless it's something pressing, we don't know that it belongs to somebody. I see a lot of other people doing that, but unless it, more than one of us is getting something, I'm not doing it. But this was serious, and it actually ended up saving her life. I'm sure it did.
I'm glad that it worked.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And she said, and I did tell her, I said, hey, you need to take that pregnancy test because you're pregnant again. Well, I'm talking to her. I don't know if she is or not, but that's what I got. And last time she was pregnant, before we even knew it, I worked with her. Before we even knew, I said, there's a child following you. She says, I've been told that before. I said, well, it's following you. Did you ever have a miscarriage? Or she said, no. Okay. I said, well, I just saw the kid. It's okay. We'll move on. And pretty soon,
still being tripped by your eyes.
well, she ended up pregnant within a week.
Yeah, me too. I keep getting distracted.
Huh? What'd you do?
Definitely lagging. Nick is definitely lagging.
Oh, come on. Oh.
Yeah, our words to him are lagging.
Damn it. Oh, one more time.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
That'll get him.
And right when you said that, he left.
Let's see if he comes
Uh,
back. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. No. Okay.
No, not yet.
But yeah, I mean, I've always been connected with her. Her uncle was the first one that I ever had a conversation with from the other side that I'm aware of. And this guy, weeks, he would not leave me alone. And it was like, I'd go to the bathroom. He's standing there still talking. I'm like, look, we got to have boundaries here. This ain't it. But he did end up saving her at that point as well. So there's a reason that he was there. And anytime I even think about him, he'll communicate immediately. And one of our friends is the same way. Her family, her brother will communicate immediately. You know who I'm talking about, Denny.
Yeah.
Just immediate.
Oh,
One
yeah.
brother, not the other, but one brother does.
Instantaneously.
Immediate.
Instantaneously.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But-
he
but-
wants to talk.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And he knows that she has questions and she has concerns and she has worries. And he's there to allay those things if it's at all possible. And he was
Okay. Is it better now?
For now.
Not. No, it's not.
We shall see.
It's not.
It's not for you?
Yeah, it's working right now just
Damn.
fine. But let's see how quickly you can hear us.
I can hear you guys fine.
That's a
but
healthy
how-
trend.
All right, let's try the Nick test.
Yep. One.
2.
Yeah, he's way behind.
I am behind.
Yeah.
Do
Ah.
it with us, Nick. Do it with us. One. Do it. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3.
3.
You're not too far behind now.
Yeah, not. Denny, we do have a couple questions here for you. Let me.
Okay.
Well, this one here is kind of general to all of us, really. Someone said church needs to stop teaching Holy Spirit. Can you explain why?
Well, I can, but I don't want to attack one particular church. The term Holy Spirit should be turned around. It means spirit that is holy. The scripture keeps talking about God's Spirit, which is holy, Jesus' Spirit, which is holy. The term spirit does not always mean a spiritual being. It's the giving of emotions and feelings that another person has. It's like when they say, well, let's get into the spirit of the game,
Yeah.
and so we all get excited. Well, what I use when I deal with my religious following is I don't use the term Holy Spirit. I use the term the Spirit that is holy, God's Spirit, which is holy. And so therefore, I'm not on the bandwagon with the Holy Spirit as being the third person in a Trinity, but
Right.
rather it is the Spirit of the Creator and His only begotten Son that is given to a believer that leads the believer into the type of walk, the type of life that the Creator would want them to have. I kind of liken it to a flame and iron. Iron in and of itself is hard and it's cold. But if you put a flame to that iron, the iron heats up and it takes on the properties of the flame, but it never becomes flame.
Mhm.
The Spirit, which is holy, is that flame. It's shown as a fire. And our spirit is the iron because we're of the earth. And so therefore, when the Spirit gets near us, what happens is because of because of the properties and the heat of the spirit being a flame, our spirit takes on those qualities, and we can act according to that. And if the spirit leaves, if we move away from the spirit, if we move away from the heat, then we can cool down and go back to our natural self. And that's the best way I can put it. But I always tell people, if you want to believe, and use the term the Holy Spirit, go right ahead. Go ahead.
Right.
But just understand that there is a spirit. There is a spirit that comes from the Creator, and that spirit enlivens us, and it will affect us so that we can be more of what the Creator wants us to be. When we become a believer, then we can walk in the spirit. That's what it means, walk under the influence of that spirit. And our
That
life,
explains the reason for alcohol being called spirit.
exactly.
Yeah.
I get it now.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to read some of these and I cannot read them.
Don't even try, Adrian. Don't even try.
I'll have to go back. I can't. The only thing I got was from my daughter that said, "Mom, put your boobs away."
I'm not even going to. I'm not going to say a word.
On to the next. But before we do ask the next question here, I'm going to have to leave in a couple of minutes. But I do want to ask you a question, Denny, and I would like to know. 'Cause I don't think AJ and I ever talked about this. How did you two come together and you ended up becoming her mentor, her sensei, whatever you want to call it? How did that come about?
I wish we remembered.
We were discussing that very thing last night. How did we meet? Well, I think it would have been on her old page when she was still in the other world down there
Yeah,
in New Mexico.
the other group.
Yeah, which I can't remember the name of either. But
That's okay.
but I came up, and I made a comment, and she made a comment, and then we just, I think, probably started texting from there. I think that's probably as close as either one of us were ever going to get to.
It's like we've always been there. I mean, I don't know.
Yes, I am a believer in reincarnation, and I say that not flinching at all, and I believe that Adrian and I have been together in more than one life, and the connection was there. I mean, it was just simply there. I had known her forever, and that was it.
Yep.
And as far as helping her in the paranormal, she was just getting going, and I dropped little tidbits like, just stop and see how you feel before you walk in. Don't provoke. And because the guy with the table, he provoked. And just treat spirit like you would treat another person, because they were a person at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And treat them with the same respect that you would treat a person that you were talking to in the flesh. And she took it from there, and we've been able to trade licks and chops ever since then.
He goes on investigations with me every time.
Yes, and I love it. I mean, you get to go out there and ramble around in the dark, and I get to sit in the comfort of my home with a cup of tea and a cinnamon roll and tell you there's a ghost behind you. And that's what happened in that one investigation. You were at Waverly.
Yep.
You and your partner were walking down the hall, and I said, there's one following you.
Yep.
And you turned around, and there it was. And I believe you got a picture of it.
Yeah, Holly did.
Yes,
Jeremy,
Holly.
that's when we were there.
Who it was. Yeah, I couldn't remember her name, but yeah, And it's fun to be able to do it the way I do it now because I'm home and comfortable, and you're out there in the dark room, and I'm
Sometimes you
enjoying.
can see it better that way because you don't have all the other emotions and
Yeah,
senses. Thank you, honey.
yeah, exactly. I
Was that
I
potatoes?
all of the other stuff pounding on me. I'm just sitting there, just reading the atmosphere.
Yep.
And you
Yeah,
walked by.
They're
You walked by.
strong in Waverly.
Yeah, you
Huh?
walked by a room, and there was one in the
You're
room.
strong at Waverly. Okay, Kimberly, yes, we can see you now. I'm going to have to get going, but before I do go, if you guys will indulge me here, I have a little story to tell you guys. Um, so as we know, back when we were at the Abbey, Nick and I were on the show with Dennis, and this one guy
Oh,
kept doing all
jeez.
this one guy kept doing
Here we
all
go
of
again
these
with this damn story.
Oh, the scared jump scares.
these jump scares on Nick. So, with that in mind, we were getting ready to start doing the Fear Fans show on Tuesday night. I was the first one to come in, so I stayed in the studio, just waiting on somebody to come on in. Nick comes in. He puts himself on the stream, just waiting, and then he goes to a different screen and he's looking at that. He doesn't even see me. So I come up and I just go, boom, and that boy jumped 10 feet out of his chair.
And I didn't even know he was going to be on the show that night.
Very softly, very lightly, it's boom, and that boy jumped like he was shot.
Is he all time?
I love them. I've caused a couple myself, but quite by accident. Really, Adrian, by accident.
Yeah.
And also I told Jeremy, since you're about to get going, I also have one other little announcement. I wanted to make it right at the beginning, but I thought I'd say this because I talked to you about this. Brad is going to be so happy when he hears this. I know it. It's not even going to be funny.
Is
But
he on?
obviously, me being dressed up, he was when we first came on, but not anymore. So, obviously, with me being all dressed up and stuff, there was one thing that I wasn't able to do with this costume. I'm sure you guys can see I still got hair in the back because part of this bald cap was not going to fit all this hair. So I have to dress up like this 3 or 4 more times after tonight. So guess what that means? That means I got to go to the haircut shop tomorrow. And most likely, they have to shave it. So now I got to follow Jeremy's footsteps.
You don't have to shave it. No, you don't. Put it in a ponytail.
Yeah, that's what I tried doing. It's still not working.
He's got to go all out, Adrian. Boy's got to shave.
For Halloween?
So you know what that means, right?
I really hope I don't have to, really. Huh?
If he shakes his head now, that means it's going to be a cold freaking winter for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, you're in Illinois. Do you remember that?
Anyway, with that, guys, I am going to go ahead and check out. You guys have fun with the rest of the show. Denny, it is so great finally meeting you.
Well, I'll be back a few more times if you want.
Oh, you better believe you will, because I want to hear some more stories.
Oh yeah.
I got almost 70 years of them, so yeah, we'll be back.
So with that, the next question, Nick, I'm going to lead you to this. The next question for Denny here is this one here.
This one I wanted to get to actually.
Yeah. So So that's your next question here on this list, and Mick, you can just take it from there.
Yeah.
Have a
Hopefully
good
I'm
night.
not lagging.
Good night, Jeremy.
Good
No,
night,
you're
Jeremy.
lagging, Mick.
Hi,
You're
Jeremy.
like, good night,
Drive
everybody.
careful.
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to actually get to this question. So, what was the scariest investigation? I guess Anthony's asking each of us this. Any of us went on. So, I guess we'll start with you, Denny.
Well, the scariest investigation, it didn't start out as an investigation. I was working as a security agent in a hospital that was closing down, and they had most of the services were at hospital across town, and it was my job just to make sure that nobody broke in and stole old equipment and such as that. Well, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd go do rounds. Now, I'm the only agent in the place, and it's a 3-story hospital. Second floor has got an addictions recovery center on it, and the third floor has got an extended care facility and a nursing home. So you got to be kind of careful. And I'm sitting down in the lobby, and there is absolutely nothing going on. And it's, like I say, it's about 3 a.m. It's time for rounds. And so I get up, and I've got a 100,000-volt stun gun. That's the only protection we have. And I'm in a 3-piece business suit because they didn't want uniforms and all that. And so I start down this hall, and I show Adrian a picture of the hospital. Nice looking building until you get on the inside at 3 a.m. And it's haunted. I mean, it's on the registry of most haunted hospitals in the county that it's in. And I start down this hall like I'd gone down it 2 hours before that. And I look in the first room, and I look in the second room. I look in the third room, and it's just a normal night. And as I step out of that third room, I'm hit by just a solid wall of, it's hard to put it in words. I mean, it's just a solid wall of dank anger. And I mean, it's just like I ran into it. A cold, empty feeling that goes clear to your soul. And I thought, well, I got rounds to do. I got to keep going. And so I took another step, and that feeling got so intense that I started to back up. And then I felt nothing but just malevolence, hatred, and, for lack of a better term, death. And it was just absolutely empty, grave empty.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never run until that time. And I backed up, I turned tail, I ran out of that hall, went through the door, out into the lobby, and it followed me. And it came right into that lobby with me, and it was slowly moving towards me. And I ran out of the lobby, down the hall, down by where the old emergency room was, and I went up the stairwell, because old hospital training, you never use an elevator in an emergency. And I ran up those stairs, and I got up onto the second floor, stepped out, and I couldn't feel it anymore. So here I am up there. There are people recovering from addictions. There's nursing staff, and I've got to act like there's nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm doing my best to act like there's nothing wrong. And just like I'm doing normal rounds, and all the time I'm thinking to myself, I hope this thing doesn't come up here, because I don't know what I'm going to do if it gets up here among all these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk my rounds, and then I think, okay, I'm going to go back down to the first floor and see if it's still there. And I went back down that stairwell, and I opened the door out into the hallway, and it was waiting for me. And it pushed that door shut, and it almost knocked me over backwards. And I took off back up the
Jeez.
stairs, and I went up the next stairwell up onto the 3rd floor and checked out the nursing home. Spent a little longer up there than I normally would, just talking to everybody, trying to get my nerve up. And then I went back down onto that 1st floor, and it was gone. It wasn't there anymore. I couldn't feel it. And I walked around down there, and it had left. And everything was normal again. But I have never been that scared in my life since then. And whatever that was, whatever that entity was, all it wanted was me. And I think it was stuck on that 1st floor, thank God. But I left that job not long after that, because going down that hallway after that, it's like you'd open the door and you'd wait for it. And that's the scariest one that I've ever had. And you couldn't drag me into that hospital again with a team of horses. I absolutely refuse to go in the building.
I wonder if anybody's investigated since.
I don't know if they have. I hope they did well. And it was made worse by the fact that that's the hospital that my mother died in back in 1983. And like I say, if I were to go to that town today, you're not dragging me into that building. I wouldn't do it. Adrian, if you wanted to investigate it, I'd say, okay, kid, have at it. I'll wait. I'll wait in the car. I ain't going in there. I am not going in there. I'll open the door when you come running out if that thing shows up. But that was the worst. That was the worst one for me. I can laugh about it now, but it still gives me chills when I think about that feeling.
Yep. That's why
I
there's
can
episodes
imagine
of haunted
just knowing that.
hospitals.
That's right. That's why there's episodes of Haunted Hospital. And your episode, I haven't seen it, but I saw the trailer for it. And it
Neither have I.
Yeah. It
Neither
looks
have I.
great. It looks great.
Yeah. All I saw in that trailer was it was very, very over dramatized.
Well, that's the nature of the beast. If they're putting it on any kind of a network, it's all about drama, because drama draws audience. Audience likes the products of the people that are sponsoring the show. So yeah, they're going to do that.
Yep. Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like.
Yeah.
Someone asked, how many doors did you go through?
But I don't have control over it.
I mean,
so.
it's just
right.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way how things are, unfortunately. Now, like, they always want to bring some kind of drama in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to keep your show on the air, you better have some action. And I know from being out there for many years that not every time you go on an investigation are you going to have a dozen incidents. A lot of times you're sitting there in the dark all night and you don't even hear a bump.
Yeah,
Exactly. And that does not keep your TV show on the air. And
no,
that's what leads.
Doesn't.
Yeah, and that's what leads some of them into manufacturing events. And that gives the rest of us a bad name because they think that we all do it. And the good ones, we don't do that. I mean, if it's quiet, it's quiet. If it's noisy, it's noisy. And unfortunately, that does not sell airtime on network TV. And I took broadcast training way back in college a million years ago. And they told us that the show that people are watching, whatever it is there only to hold the audience's attention in between commercials so that they will buy their product. And And as soon as you understand that, you understand everything there is about broadcast television. It's all about the sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not buying the product, if the people aren't there to watch the show and they don't buy the product, your show's canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
so it's kind of a built-in failure system. And so therefore, if you've got a paranormal show, something had better happen. I mean,
Yeah.
And
Yep.
fortunately, it doesn't always happen. I've spent more time
Yeah.
in a dark room with nothing than I have with activity.
Oh yeah. I saw the I guess contract for Travel Channel. No thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the Travel Channel
Yeah,
is
I mean,
a big
it's just. What's that? No, you
You're
were
way
saying about.
behind.
I think I'm lagging again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I knew it. I'm going to try one more idea, so I'll be right back.
Tom's on. What you doing, Tom? Can't read it, but I can see your name. Yeah, that
He
he's had
says,
trouble
who
here
needs
recently with
network
that lagging.
shows anymore? YouTube is the thing anymore.
Mm. Yeah, not for me. No thanks. Mm-mm.
I'm glad that I never got into that.
No, because I actually had a friend that was YouTuber, is what they call them, where they're, whoa, there's two of you. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice,
Whoa,
Beetlejuice.
jeez.
Oh my Lord. Oh no, it's a doppelganger.
Who the hell is that guy? Yeah, who the hell is that guy?
I don't know, but somebody else better holler Beetlejuice. There we go.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. Joe, two jacks. Do I sound better?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. I don't know
It
what's
wasn't that you
going
you
on
were
with my
lagging.
computer tonight. I really.
You couldn't hear us. We were talking long before you could hear us.
That's what I mean. I hate when I don't know why the computer's doing that.
What internet company do you have?
I honestly, I really don't know.
Xfinity has those. They're called something X something box. Anyway, they boost it and it helps a lot.
Okay.
When you have a big house anyway. And the modem happens to be, you know, not directly above you or below you.
Right.
Glitch in the matrix.
No, I don't think it's the Falling Pumpkins. I think I've had other stuff up before, and I've never had an issue before.
No, this is new for you, but that could have something to do with it. Too much effects going on.
Maybe. Oh wait, you know what? I have a new idea. Actually, I got one other idea. I'm gonna try this, see if it will sound better. I'll try to go on a different browser, so I'll be back.
Okay. Wonder what browser he was on to start with.
I don't know.
The only one that ever works for me is the Chrome, Google Chrome.
Oh, is that right?
That's what we're usually on. But I'm down here in the basement, and the modem thing's on the first floor, and then I work on the top floor.
Okay, I'm going to duck out for just a second. I got to get a power cable to my phone. We're at 20.
Okay.
I'll be right back. I hope.
Anthony, you better get it right, dude.
If it wasn't for Anthony, I'd have run out of juice. Thank God I got a long cable for this phone.
Is that one of the 6-foot ones?
Yep, here you go.
Yep, hold on, work on it.
Okay, he's jacking around with the phone. It's probably going to end up in my lap.
No, temporarily.
Okay, I am off camera temporarily.
Yep.
That's all right, not a problem. Try plugging it in somewhere. That's the light. You're going to
No,
unplug
not
the
plugging the light. I'm just putting this here so I can put that
we
there.
can put that there, and then we can plug that there.
I just realized I forgot to turn off the mic, so Adrian and the
I
whole world's hearing this.
know,
That's okay. That's okay. This is funny.
Of course, this is the way it works. This is live TV.
Hello, world. I'm the tech guy here, and as you can see, we're having difficulties.
Well, you're having difficulties. I'm just sitting here watching.
You're just sitting there.
It got dark because the light unplugged. But that's all right. You can't see it anyway, so you're going to have to turn the light on there, partner.
Hi.
There we go. No, let's just leave that light.
You're not
Let's just use
scared.
that light.
You're
Okay.
not scared.
Neither am I. Oh, it's a puppy.
I'm scared. My job's on the line.
Eat the
Yeah.
puppy.
What's funny is she's not scared of me.
Of course not. Of course not. Oh, well, I see Jack back, kind of.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
All right, going back to the camera. 3, 2.
One. And there.
Hey, and we have light on too.
I was about to say why the.
There we are. There we are.
Do not lick. Do not lick.
What did I
Do
miss?
not. Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. I almost
No,
ran
we
out
had
of
to
juice.
plug
You know-
the phone in.
I'm going to do some.
Adrian, I gotta say, with your dog.
Oh, no.
Oh, that feels better.
Oh boy.
Oh, that feels better.
Adrian, I gotta say
Oh.
right now, since your dog was since Ghost was trying to lick your face, what's funny is my sister's dog is actually gonna be dressing up for Halloween, except we gotta make sure she doesn't lick us. Not of our makeup is what she'll be wearing. She's gonna be. This is gonna sound hard to believe. My sister's dog. She's gonna be Cocaine Bear.
Oh, that's going to. That'll be great.
I want to see that. Yeah, I want to see that.
Nothing wrong with
It's just probably. I got a feeling it's most likely just gonna be putting like flour on her nose, and that's probably gonna be it.
They lick that off very quickly.
A little shot of there.
Okay. I thought there was another oh yeah. Oh, wait, I think we already covered that one. I'm just looking at any other questions that may have came through. But I actually kind of do have a question of my own though, which is, what was your most recent investigation that you've done?
Well, I don't get out much anymore because I'm 73 years old. My health isn't all that good now, so my days of crashing around dark houses are done. But one that Adrian and I were on together happened last year, and it was one of those concerned efforts that we have worked on. A friend of mine who lives in Canada, they were getting ready to demolish an old cabin that they'd been using, to stay in. It's since been demolished. But there was a group of spirits in there that she routinely talked to on GhostTube, and they've essentially become friends. And one day she went to go in there, and the dog wouldn't go in, and her spirit friends told her, "Stop, stop, stop, hide." And she looked up on the upper deck, and she saw this figure walk across the upper deck and disappear. And she got out of there, and she told me about it. And it was something that was happening now on a pretty regular basis. And her spirit friends would they would tell her, go away, go, run, stay away. And she was concerned because they were demolishing the place, and she was concerned that that spirit might actually push somebody off of that upper deck, because the banister had already been taken down. And I was concerned about it as well. And I got with Adrian, and we put our heads together, and we came up with a working plan on how to get rid of this entity, literally to put it back where it came from. There was an open portal up on that upper deck. So I talked to her about getting a mantra or something like that, so that it could be played in the house to bind this spirit up, to get rid of it. And we devised the plan where she would go in and she would do this mantra. She'd play the tape that I got. She'd play it loud in the house, and then she would go up the stairs, bind the thing and anything that was with it, and send it into that portal, and then close the portal. And for those of us that have done these things, that's, well, okay, let's do it. But my friend up there, Anne is her name, she had never done anything like this. She was just starting off in the paranormal. Just talking to her little friends and watching their little orbs. So we got her schooled on what she had to do, and then she went to the cabin, played the recording, went up the stairs, and I warned her, stay close to the wall, be ready to sit down on the steps if you have to. And she went up there, and she bound that spirit and anything that was with it, bound them together, and then she ordered it into the portal, and then she closed the portal. Mm-hmm. And immediately after she closed the portal, the atmosphere in that old cabin changed, and she went downstairs, talked to her spirit friends, and they were back, and they said that she was their hero. She got rid of him. Yep. And again, it came down to Adrian and I working together on this thing. And I know that if she could have gotten up there, like if I could have gotten up there, we would have went. But this is way out in the boonies in Manitoba, and we couldn't get there. Wow. So we had to work together to get her ready to go up there and take care of business. She told me she was scared all the way up there, and she did what she had to do. But I'm glad that she did. And I'm glad that Adrian and I were able to work together on that thing. And that is the most recent situation that I've been involved in. And it turned out well. And I'm glad that it did. And a friend of mine, and when I think about orbs, a friend of mine went into a cemetery in England just not too many, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And she had the phone on, and of course I was watching on the phone, and I saw something that I've never seen before, and maybe you guys have seen it, and I want to run it by you. I saw, and she saw through the phone, dozens and dozens of orbs flying out of the ground, heading right straight up, and some with trailers behind them. And they were just streaming out of the ground. It reminded me, how bait fish gets, when they start jumping out of the water when there's a predator. And it wasn't a half hour later that she got attacked by spirit in that cemetery and had a heck of a time getting loose and getting out of there. So have either of you ever seen anything like that, where orbs literally were just flying out of the ground or flying out of a floor, heading up and out? I don't know. I've never seen it before.
I've seen it one time on, well, I'm not going to say one time. I've seen it in pictures, and it was a trusted friend. And what she would get was they called rods.
Okay.
And it was so strange
heard of
because
rods.
almost all the pictures she's in
Uh-huh.
had those. And she passed away, I guess, about 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
But all those pictures, and most of them were at cemeteries.
Uh-huh.
But I have seen that one other time, and it was here recently
Always
that I saw the orbs come up. Yeah, but I didn't know the person, so I didn't, comment or say anything, because
Right.
we all know if you don't know them, you don't
Yeah.
know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. But
Nick, have you seen it?
Yeah, I never saw
I
anything.
thought I saw.
And it's scary.
I feel like I have seen something like that before, at least once or twice. But the way how I've seen it though was not necessarily through orbs. It was more mist, if you will.
Okay.
Okay.
Or almost like a type of ectoplasm that sprouted out from the ground.
Okay. That's not such a bad thing. Denny, we've done quite a few together. You were the only one with me when I went to Clinton, New Mexico. Or Clayton, New Mexico.
I remember that. That's
Yeah.
been a day
And
or two
then-
ago.
Yeah, that was our first one.
I
And
believe it
then
was.
and then you did the cemetery, which freaked me out a little bit because
Uh-huh.
through the middle of the cemetery, he goes, "Oh yeah, and that's where I'm gonna be." Huh?
Yeah,
But-
that's my niche.
Uh,
That's my
but
niche.
yeah, he used to do that cemetery all the time. It was
Oh,
right
yeah.
behind where you lived.
Yeah, it was right behind where I lived.
I went there too.
And
And then let's see, you did the residential with me. We didn't
Uh-huh.
stay there very long,
right.
but we did that one.
Mention the mausoleum.
And just like many, turns out there wasn't anything there that wasn't self-manifested,
Right.
and people got drunk and people wanted to fight, and that's when we said bye.
Yeah,
This
time
is
to leave.
not,
Yeah, time
yeah,
to leave.
this is not what we're in for. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
And
There were-
then
There were 3 cemeteries behind where I lived at that
Mhm.
particular time. And one of them had a mausoleum, a big mausoleum. And Anthony went there one day to investigate because, he's still learning.
Mhm.
And he walked in there and he had a phone and I think he had a GoPro
Yep.
and everything. And he walked in there and all the juice got drained. Everything got drained out of it. And
oh,
he
that's
was,
when you know.
Yeah.
I went in there with 100% battery power.
Yeah.
Walked for about 5 minutes. Come out, look at my phone. It showed a dramatic drop from 100 to about 15%.
right. And that's because they were drawing energy. But you see, when we tell our stories like this, what it gives, especially with you and I working together, Adrian, what that shows is that we can work together even though we're a couple of thousand miles apart. And this is what I wish there was. I wish there was some kind of a network, and maybe there isn't, I don't know about it. But I wish there was some kind of a network where if somebody here was having a problem and I couldn't get to them,
Mhm.
that there could be other people that could be contacted that would be able to help them.
Yep.
If they're out in the middle of Podunk, Iowa,
Mhm.
and something's going bump in the night,
Mhm.
and they don't know what to do, so they see us, any one of the 3 of us,
Mhm.
and they know that we're into it, and we may be the only people that they know to contact to send a direct message to. And it would be so nice if there was a setup around the country so that they could call you and you could call somebody else and
Yep.
get that somebody else over there to help them. And that's what I hope eventually develops, and it would be.
I know
Right.
there's something like that, but it's not like on call like that. It's more of a like, okay, let's, we have on the things page a huge teams that we know are legitimate.
Right.
Now,
That's a big key.
most
Legitimate.
of them, yeah, most of them cannot remote view.
Right.
And I'm afraid if we were able to, that we would have a lot of people, like we'd have to know who we're dealing with, because we'd have a lot of people trying to stage stuff, which we do now.
Oh yeah.
Going to their
Yeah,
homes, or they'll send us
definitely.
pictures. This happened. Well, I believe you, but let's set up cameras. Let's do this. Let's do that. I'm not going to disregard them immediately, but
Right.
a lot of times you can see what they've done.
Oh sure.
It's
And this,
like,
and this is why, like from TikTok, they'll throw those videos up there, and I will send it to you, and I'll say,
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think? Let's practice our ability to decode things.
Yep.
What did I just see? What's my gut reaction to it?
Yeah.
And we need to be able to do that on any investigation.
Yeah. People believe everything they see on camera now. I mean,
Of course.
on TikTok or on
They do.
Facebook, it doesn't
They
matter.
really
They're
do.
like, oh,
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I just saw it on Clapper, so therefore it has to be true. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
They do such things with Photoshop and other apps that, I mean, I looked at an app just the other day on the App Store. It said how to make ghost movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
geez.
no.
I wish there
really.
wasn't such things as filters sometimes, because
Oh yeah.
I mean, yes, I enjoy filters to make me look a whole lot younger. Yeah, I'll go with that.
You're just sweet 16 and never been kissed, and you know it.
Oh, if only.
Hey,
Where was I at 16? Oh yeah, I was married. That's where I was at 16.
Yeah.
Stupid ass. But yeah, I mean, there's along with media comes social media comes the ability to either be mean to people, berate people, and you have to really talk to someone to know if they're legitimate. But you can't dismiss anybody, because what if they are? What if they are having an issue? What if they are possessed? What if whatever the case might be, you can't just, oh yeah, okay. You have to give everyone a chance.
Yeah, my experience years ago working EMS and handling what would now be called 911 calls, I can usually determine whether who's talking to me is legitimate or not. There's a certain thing about their voice, and you put that with a lifetime of experience in the paranormal, and you kind of weed them out. But I do love sending them little video bites to you, so we can see we're on the same line. And kids and dogs will give you the most honest reactions.
Right.
If the dog won't go in, I'm gonna not really want to go in either.
Yeah. It's funny with our dogs. I know they're here. We've got them on EVP. We've got them on recorders. One of my friends accidentally left her recorder in my, like, what you call a boiler room, I guess. It's the tank that fills all the hot water for all the radiator systems in the house. It's built in 1908. So yeah, I mean, it still works on radiators. We're waiting on a fuse at this point for that, because it finally blew. But and you can't go out and get those just anywhere. We had to have the service guy do it. But it was in that room, which at that time the radiator was off. There was no point to have it on. It's still not on. But I didn't know she left it in there, and they left for the night. I came back down, shut off lights. She asked me, so how long were you down there after we left, I said, "Did I shut off the lights as we left?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "I went straight upstairs. I didn't go back down." She said, "Really?" Because there was a kid's voice. There was people talking. I said, "No, Zach was already in bed long ago." So that left me, and unless you were hearing mom and dad through the floor.
Uh-huh.
So we're listening. That's not mom and dad. That was a child, which this used to be a daycare down here in the basement.
Okay.
That, I mean, no child died down here. Now, could it have been some of their favorite memories? Maybe. And they came back here. I don't know. Or just passing through.
Or it could be retained energy.
Yeah. But this was, and there's a man
Yep.
down here too. And I think I told you, whoa, your nose is cold, Rose. I think I told you that I looked up, maybe I didn't. I looked over from the couch and something made me look. You know how you know somebody's standing there.
Yeah.
I look and I'm like, I look at Zach. I said, "So there's this man standing here, mid-20s, maybe early 30s, plaid shirt. He's got brownish hair, looks like a farmer maybe. And he's looking for his wife. She's got red hair. They have a baby." I couldn't get anything past that. He told me his name, which I believe was Jacob,
Mhm.
and gone.
Yeah.
I think he was looking for his wife, who maybe died in childbirth. I don't know. I didn't get any more than that.
Uh-huh.
Just gone. Never came back. Just passing through, I guess. Don't know. But we get stuff like that all the time. Just like, okay, hi, bye.
Oh yeah, exactly. When I lived over where I used to live with those 3 cemeteries right behind me, we had traffic through that house that wouldn't quit. We had our regulars, all 5 of them that lived there, but we had traffic going through there all the time.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is here. The regulars that are here, I don't see them.
Right.
And I don't hear them.
Yeah, they're just
Everybody
doing
else does. They'll walk in and go, "There's a woman standing right there." Okay, well, I know who that is because that's where she used to hang out.
Yep.
Upstairs, everybody says, "Oh, that's a portal." It's not a portal. It's just where Grandpa stands.
That's it. That's Grandpa's place.
Yeah, he died.
Yep.
He didn't. No, he didn't die here. There was an uncle that died here, but he's not here. But he stands upstairs between the bedrooms. I don't know why, but people think that's a portal. He's on
Maybe
his death
that's
certificate.
where they kept the chamber pot.
Maybe. It said on his death certificate he died because his blood dried up. He died of old age.
Yeah.
His heart quit pumping, period.
Yeah.
But that was their reasoning back then. His blood dried up.
Yeah, that's it. You're gone. You know,
Yeah.
your blood's now powder.
Yeah.
Seal it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he hangs out up there. Every time I walk by, hey.
Yeah, just say
going.
hi. Yeah, just say hi.
You
as
might
you're going
thought under
by.
my
There's Mr. Jump Scare.
Yeah, that's he was just he's been here for 2 minutes.
I can't see. I have to really
I
squint
know.
to see. I can see
I know.
names, but I can't
There
see
is
what they're
another
saying.
question. There is another question here, by the way, that Jill is asking. I think she's asking us this too. What was your first supernatural memory you can recall of her having, and how old were you then?
Oh, okay. I'll be right back. I got to take care of some dogs. I can still hear.
Okay.
My goodness, the first supernatural memory. I think it would go back to the incident with the table tipping and that thing chased that boy out of the house. It had my attention, and like I say, I was about 8 or 9. The first full-bodied apparition I can remember seeing is I was about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11. I was out throwing a football. You know, you throw it up in the air, you run under it and catch it and pretend you're playing football. And I threw it up there. I ran under it, and I looked up to catch it. And I looked up at the house, and there was a person kneeling on the roof, on the peak of the roof of the house. An older gentleman with a nice bushy mustache. He just kneeling there, looking at me, looking at him. And I had to glance away to catch the football. And I looked back just a fraction of a second later. He wasn't there anymore. So I went in and I told Dad. I said, Dad, I said, there's somebody up on the roof. And they was up there and they was looking at me. So Dad went running out. We ran around and there wasn't anybody there. And Dad asked me, well, what did he look like? And I told him what he looked like. You know, he's an older gentleman. He had a bushy gray mustache. And Dad said, just a minute. He went into their bedroom, went into his bedroom and come out with an old album, and he opened the album up and he says, is that who you saw? And I looked at this gentleman's picture in the album and it was him. And I said, yeah, that's who I saw. He was just up there. Dad said, well, he says, that's my dad. That's your grandpa. You never met him. He died in 1933. And this would have been 1958. And Grandpa just wanted to watch me play, I guess. And it's absolute full body. You couldn't see through him or anything. He was just kneeling up there.
Wow. And that's actually, I gotta agree with what everyone's saying in the chat. That's pretty amazing to hear, like just hearing that you know, like especially when it comes to a family member that you never got to meet in life, and this encounter occurred like 25 years, almost 25 years after he passed away. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And it's just, I have never forgotten it, and I can see it in my mind's eye right now. And another incident that I had is I lost my maternal grandpa just about that same year. It was 1958. And nobody ever loved his grandpa more than I loved my grandpa. He was my buddy. I mean, I'd go up to the house early in the morning, up to Grandma's house, and we'd have breakfast together, and I'd be jabbering away, and he'd want to listen to the news, and he'd tell me, he'd say, just eat your oats, so he could hear the news. And we were buddies. He'd go out and he'd work in the tool shed, and I'd go out and watch him. And he was a master carpenter, and I mean, just unbelievable what he'd do with hand tools. And he passed away in 1958. And I was totally devastated because that was my buddy. You know, what am I going to do without Grandpa? And a few weeks after Grandpa passed away, I was laying in my bed and I was still crying. And I saw Grandpa up over my bedroom door from the waist up. And he looked at me and he smiled. And what he said to me telepathically was, it's all right. I'm okay. And I'll be with you. And I stopped crying, but I mean, I miss him to this day, but I know Grandpa's all right. And that was quite an experience for an 8-year-old.
Yeah. My mom died when I was 8.
Yeah, it's just soul shattering when that happens. You know, I mean, it's just soul shattering.
You see, I was really close to my own grandfather too. Although, you know, obviously he actually lasted. For me, I actually lasted a lot longer with him. He lived till he actually passed away right after he had turned 96 years old. Well, 2 days. A few days before he was going to turn 96 years old. He died right after I turned 20, and that was it was obvious, even though it was like a quarter of my life that he had been with me, it was still, it was still a terrible feeling that I was not going to see him anymore. But, I honestly believe too, I honestly believe still to this day, I still think he visits me every once in a while because I was actually one of the last people to take care of him before he passed away.
Of course he visited you. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
That bond never broke. That bond isn't going to break. He's with you. He visits you. He's probably sent you signs that he was there that maybe you picked up on and maybe you didn't. But they do. When my mom comes to visit me,
they really do.
Yeah, when mom comes to visit me, I smell lilacs. And that's mom. And I have smelled them in places where you ain't going to smell lilacs, but there they are.
Yep.
Right.
For dad, it's music because dad was a musician. So was I. And when I hear the song, it's a Glenn Miller song called In the Mood. That's the old man letting me know, hey, I'm there with you. And so they show us they're there. And it's up to us to just understand it, that they're with us. They haven't left us. They are with us. They're just not in body anymore. They are in spirit. They have become the orb that they were before they got into the body. They went
and
back
that's one thing I argue with. That's, people come up to you and say, okay, how can you be a Christian and believe in what you do? Okay. So what part of it are you asking? Well, spirits, because you're supposed to go to heaven. Okay. Have you read your Bible? Because it says God will come get his when it's all over. So where'd they go until then? Right here.
Yeah. They're with us.
Exactly.
They are with us.
Well, I honestly consider this basically a spiritual experience with my deceased family members because 4 years ago, my sister and her fiance, they got married, and I'll never forget when this happened. I mean, we thought to ourselves, "There's no way this could just be logical to explain." But the day when my sister and her fiance got married in October, so actually just a few weeks ago, it was just their 4-year anniversary, and it was raining like crazy that day. I mean, the rain was just nonstop. I mean, it was kind of weird because I feel like maybe what I said may have played a role in this because a few days prior to that, we went to the church to do a practice of the wedding, walking up to the altar, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was one of the groomsmen, so we along with my brother, we all practiced together.
Mm-hmm.
And just as we were about to end it, and we were about to head to the after party, I'm like saying to myself, because it was really nice out that day when it was like this incredible sunset, I was thinking to myself, oh man, if only the wedding was today, because we already knew it was supposed to rain a few days later.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. But after the whole wedding ceremony was over, we went to this hotel that was where we were going to have the actual like real big after party.
Right.
But before that, it was just, kind of a meet and greet kind of thing. And all of a sudden, I don't remember who it was, but somebody came rushing through the audience. I'm just going through the crowd. And they're like, you got to get them outside for a wedding picture right now. There is this unbelievable sunset that's going on outside as we speak. So my parents, they ran outside to see what was going on. And the sunset that we had, it literally looked like something it was painted in the air. It looked like a real life painting. So we grabbed my sister and her fiance immediately, got several shots of it outside. And we're thinking to ourselves, there's no way this could have been predicted. We did not expect this. We were basically saying this had to have been from our deceased family members because we know that they were there when my sister was getting married. And they set something up for us to get rid of all this rainy weather. So if you want to call that a true family paranormal experience, that was for me.
That's exactly what
they were with us during that wedding.
Of course they
gut
were.
instinct is always right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Trust the gut or anything else.
Yep. I told you
Definitely.
1,000 times that I think we had more dead family here for our wedding than we had live people.
You
I
probably
believe
did.
that too. I believe
Which
we do.
is perfectly fine. I mean,
We had a lot of people. We definitely did have a lot of people at this wedding from both sides from my parents' family, but families
Mhm.
respectively. But I honestly think we had a lot more dead relatives as well.
mhm.
Oh, you
Yeah.
you probably did. I mean, it's a family event. They're going to be there. Why would they
Yeah.
miss the wedding? They're going to be there. You talk about
Exactly.
weddings. I've done a few weddings during the time I was a preacher, and it has nothing to do with the paranormal, but it was one of the funniest weddings. It was the bride and groom. They were a really nice couple, and all this, that, and the other thing, and they wanted to get married in this old Grange hall. And if you've ever been in an old Grange hall, they've got a pot-bellied stove in there, and that's what they heat that thing with.
Mhm.
And this was a kind of a rainy, misty day that you'd rather be inside. And so we all gathered there, and they decided they're going to put a fire in that pot-bellied stove and warm it up. And they proceeded to do just that. And we are starting the wedding, as dearly beloved. We're gathered together here in the sight of God in this company to join this man and all that stuff. And I glanced over the groom's shoulder, and the stove is belching smoke. And it filled that place up with smoke. We had to get everybody out. And then come to find out, they did not check the chimney, and the chimney had been plugged.
Oh no.
Oh,
I think I know where this
So-
is going.
oh yeah. It's like, okay, we're going to do this wedding. We're going to do this wedding. Now, we can do it now, or we can wait for a couple of hours for the
Mhm.
smoke to clear out in there. And they decided they'd rather wait, rather than have the wedding outside in the misty rain, which was all right with me too. But the moral of that story is, if anybody out there is going to be getting married and you're going to do it in a Grange hall and you're going to put a fire in the stove, check the chimney. Just check the chimney and make sure that it's not going to surprise.
Hey, the plug chimney doctor gave gave me something for it.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know that. No, none of my weddings were
Be
ever
back in a second.
weird.
Okay.
Except this one.
Well,
What are you doing? Oh,
I've done a lot of weddings over the years, and I never had one that went off without a hitch. There was always,
yeah.
I mean, there was always something. But that's the glorious thing about weddings. You don't expect them to be perfect because they're not.
But the bride sure does.
Oh, you bet the bride does.
I didn't. I was like,
That's how
You
it
know
always
what?
is.
we had our son from Japan, his son, and he came. We flew him in, or he flew in. And he was there like a day or two before the wedding. And we had asked him, if he was coming. He was like, yeah, if I can officiate the wedding. We're like, wait a minute, what? And we got to reading on Colorado laws. Come to find out, Colorado laws, it doesn't matter if the dog officiates the wedding.
That's
Don't
right.
matter. So
That's
we're
right.
like, okay, let's do it. He goes, I need to get endowed first. What'd you say?
What?
Mind you, he speaks Japanese now and has for a few years. And he's like, well, do I need to get endowed? Dude, you're as endowed as you're going to get. You need to stop. And he's like, oh. And so we tease him now, but no, you don't need to. He's like, okay. He did it anyway. He did. And he came. We had no idea what he was going to say, what he was going to do. It was all on him. We're just going with it. Whatever. As long as we're married in the end, I don't care. Let's do this.
Right.
And I still don't remember his speech. It was really, we have it on video and I have not played it back yet, but it was actually pretty cool because he talked to me online, but didn't know me. And I knew his dad when he was a kid. So like, but I think it went off without a hitch, really.
Yeah.
We had my medium friend in the basement doing readings, which I didn't know my aunts were into that kind of stuff, but they asked her to do a reading. So here we were.
Here we are.
All I remember is I drank a little too much. We did karaoke and I've seen the videos.
There you go.
That's about all I remember of that. But,
There
and
you
I'm sure
go.
the neighbors have videos too, but it was fun. That's all that mattered.
Yeah, it was fun. I did one wedding, the fastest wedding I ever did. I worked for this woman. She was manager in the restaurant that I was working in. And eventually, I took the restaurant over. But she wanted to get married. She says, "Will you marry me and my boyfriend?" I said, "Well, yeah." She said, "How much?" I said, $25. That was a standard fee back then. And I asked her. I said, "Well, what kind of service do you want? Do you want one with all the bells and whistles and a collar and all that?" She goes, No. She goes, "We just want a quick service." I said, "A quick one?" She goes, "Yeah." She says, "We just want to get to, we just want to make it legal, and that's that." So come the wedding day,
Who's just in?
I show up over there.
Sorry, go on. Keep going.
Yeah, I said, "Are you ready to get married?" And they said, "Well, yeah." And I said, "Well, get everybody over here." They all got over there. And we'd already signed all the papers and everything like that. Technically, they're married as far as the state's concerned. As soon as you sign papers. I got them all over there. And I looked at him and I said, "You take her to be your wife?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "How about you? You want him as your husband?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, you're married." And that was the end of it.
Yep.
Wow.
And I went and I got my ham sandwich with everybody I ever married. I told him, "I want $25 and a ham sandwich. I got to have a ham sandwich." I don't know why. It was just part of it. And I went, I got my ham sandwich.
I gotta, I gotta ask this then, because you said that was the fastest one. How long did you think it? Probably like a minute or so, Like, what do you think the duration must have been?
Well, look on your watch and time it. Do you take this woman to be your wife? You take this guy to be your husband? You're married. Less
About
than
5 seconds.
Yeah. That was it, folks.
Yeah, 5 seconds. I was keeping track.
That was it. I had to get it done. I had to get it done because I was going fishing that day, and I wasn't going to piddly diddle around over there. And I mean, fishing is a priority. And so
there's my girl.
I mean, who doesn't? I mean, yeah, I can understand why. I mean, who doesn't want to miss a day of fishing?
Oh, come on.
Excuse me? What? I've missed enough fishing this year. Thank you. So, Jan, who's doing your wedding?
Seen that happen in a movie before. So fast and he goes fishing. Jan loves fishing too.
Oh yeah, she does. Absolutely.
Jan's like, screw getting married.
Fishing is a priority. I mean, come on now.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
It is.
Bullshit. You're getting married. Don't give me that bullshit.
Driving to the lake.
All right.
Yeah, everybody here is loving fishing.
Fishing is fun. I promise you. It
Jan's
is
gonna
fun.
go fish.
It's great.
Jan's gonna go fishing now. He just said.
Yeah. She's gonna go fishing when she gets to a place that's not iced.
Well, you could drill a hole in the ice.
Yeah, that happens around here, and hell no.
That's what the Eskimos do in Alaska.
That's great. That they have to do that to survive. I do not.
I don't blame you.
Well, wait. I don't even go to the grocery store when it's cold.
Yeah, I lived in Minnesota. You ain't dragging me on a lake. tell me to drill a hole in it and sit in a cabin and wait for a fish. No. There are better things to do.
I can go for a fast
I can
wedding
go for a fast.
if I'm ever so lucky.
If I try,
You know
if I'm
damn
ever
well you're
so
going to do
lucky
it
to try
again. Shush.
And by the way, Adrian, Jan says that she loves ice fishing.
That's great. Take pictures. Let me know how it goes.
Just
The
don't fall
little
through the ice.
yeah, we talked about this earlier. Jan, you'll get a kick out of this. I sent Brittany a picture and she goes, Mom, put your boobs away. I said, girl, that's all I got left. Leave me the hell alone. So those little things I have left, I'd like to keep a little longer before they're going to get froze off. Thank you.
I'm not saying a word.
Whoa, wait, hang on a second. Tom just said
Being good.
I can always get the hooks.
you get the hook stuck in your hand, Tom.
You need to practice a little more there, bud. That's
never happened to me. That's never happened to me when
I'll tell you what, I worked in the ER and I will never forget it. I didn't work in the ER. I worked in the kitchen, but you walk past the ER and there was this little boy came in. Oh my gosh. He couldn't have been 4, maybe 5. He was on a boat and he had 3 fishing hooks in his foot and they were treble hooks. Which normally you would cut one and pull it through.
Yeah.
He had them all sorts of ways. You couldn't. Oh, it was. I hurt for him. It was so bad. I don't know how it turned out, but no, I'm good.
That's kind of
as an trauma tech who went to the emergency room. Yeah, I've seen it. We had a guy come in once. It was funnier than heck. I mean, to me it was. Of course, you can't laugh. But he came in and he had been bass fishing. And he'd had a little bit too much libation in the bass. And he hooked himself in the hand with a treble hook on a bass plug. Now, a bass plug has usually got a gang of 3 hooks, 3 hook settings on it. So you got 3 sets of treble hooks. On the way to the hospital, he went to rub his nose and he hooked the second set in his nose. So he came in with his hand hooked to the plug, and his hand and the plug hooked to his nose. And I had to stand there and not laugh.
God.
Yeah, I had to stand there and not laugh. I mean,
it would be dude. It's kind of a hard to laugh moment.
Yeah, I know, but at that particular time, it was like, dude. You know, the good Lord gave you another to rub your nose with. You know, it was it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I've watched that show, Best of ER or whatever it was. You see, now you see live things in people that should not be there. You see,
Adrian, don't forget there was when we did the audiobook stories last year. There was a story involving that. I think Jen was the one who read it, though. No, wait, no, it was somebody else. I know someone else read that story, but there was a story just like that in one of those books. In that book.
Live things in someone?
Yep.
In orifices?
I don't remember the story. I haven't even gotten to really read a lot of my books this year, but I do remember there was a story very much like that in one of those stories from Nightmare Soup.
Well, I got 2 that I'm not going to give into detail in here on, but one was a gear shift knob. And the other was one of the suction cups from a milking machine.
Okay, I can understand both of those.
Yes, and there was a third one, and it was a swizzle stick.
Wow. Yeah, there was actually one, I will never forget this. It was one of those portable grills that you take out camping.
Right.
And I don't remember how it happened, but the was stuck in it. Let's put it that way.
Uh-huh.
And he had to take the whole grill to the ER.
We had to bring this
Oh
guy
my
in
gosh.
with the suction cup from the milking machine.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
The nurse went about 16 different shades of red. She'd never seen anything like that. And all I could do
I'd
is
have
sit
had to laugh.
and smile.
I'd have had to laugh. That would have been, yeah, no.
That
I'd
would have
had
been
to
too
laugh.
much, huh?
No, no, I
No.
couldn't do that. That's
No.
why I didn't last very
It's,
long.
you know,
in
I
healthcare.
can't believe I'm about to say this, but you know, it's unfortunate how like when such circumstances like that occur, it's hard not to laugh at it when you know
It is.
that person's life could possibly be at stake. It's really hard to do that, you know. And I do some, and that's happened to me on several occasions. I'm not proud of it, but it's like, where can I go, or whatever the case is.
Yeah, exactly. There are times I've just had to turn my back,
Yeah.
you know, and just take a few steps away because you don't want to laugh at them. You know, I mean, you really shouldn't. But there are times when you can't help yourself. It's like the guy dead
You
drunk
know,
with a stick. I don't need to tell you
Yeah.
where it was.
well, you know what but you know what they do say though. You know what they do say. It's only funny if everyone lives in the end.
He lived, but the engagement he had with his girlfriend was off.
Yeah, yeah.
And my girlfriend was the charge nurse in the ER that night, and I couldn't tell her what it was on the radio coming in, and you know, there's 10,000 people out there with scanners, you know, and we got there, and she goes, "What couldn't you tell me?" And I just lifted the cover up, and she kind of gurgled a little bit in her throat. She wanted to start laughing. She looked at me, and I looked at her, and I said as softly as I could, "Don't you get no ideas."
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Don't
Yeah.
get no ideas. And she was a redhead, and she could get ideas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know.
Oh
in the
yeah,
blood. It's all good.
I know it is. I loved redheads.
Oh,
I mean, I like living on the edge, and that's how you do it. Marry a redhead.
Or anybody with Irish blood.
Yes, yes. And she was a green-eyed
I'm
redhead.
part Irish, so I may not look this way, but I actually do have Irish ancestry. So, and Adrian, real quick, looks like Jan's going back to call me beef stick.
Well, of course. That never changed.
Complete ankle
Yeah,
break,
they're-
playing football in a cast for 9 months.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like you broke your ankle. That sounds like you shattered it and you got
Yes.
some pins in
I was
it.
going to say, that sounds more like shattering it.
Yeah, that's more.
That
yeah.
sounds like hardware.
Yeah, that is hardware.
Yeah, Zach got hardware in his ankle because he slipped on ice out here. And kind of funny because within a few weeks he's standing on it. And now he says, it hurts. You think?
Yeah, I would imagine it would.
He does really good on it, but I guess probably the cold gets him.
Oh, jeez, Chris. Look what he said. It was dangling by the skin alone. What the hell? But he got to the ER.
Okay, son, that's
Cool.
not broke. That's severed.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes.
severed it.
There's a huge difference there.
That's different.
You're
Very
lucky
different.
you could walk in months or ever. You had
I
a
just
good
don't even
surgeon
know
that
what to
put
say
some
about
nerves
that.
back
It's
together.
just, yeah. I mean, I just don't even know what to say about that.
I do. It's Chris.
I was like, my foot.
Dumbass.
Yep.
I do.
My
You call
my
orthopedic.
foot broke and it's hanging off now.
Yeah. You call orthopedics, them deal with it.
Yeah. No. Okay, Denny, do you have your pendulum?
My pendulum? Let me find my pendulum. That's not a pendulum. That's a mask.
Well, this ought to be.
I'll get the pendulum here in a minute. I just got to loose it from its boundaries here.
While you're doing that, Adrian, I got to say, with that one contact in your eye, I like how it looks like it's glowing, almost reflecting off the light.
I think I'm great. I've seen that look out of a French teacher. Okay, I have the pendulum. Can you see it?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, this is probably my main instrument that I use in investigations, simply because I'm old school. I love all the fancy equipment they got now. It's great, but I'm still old school, and pendulum, it's my main means of communication. And you can go yes, no, I don't know, which is standard, but you can also get almost like a small Ouija board, and they can literally spell out what it is that they're telling you.
Mm-hmm.
And but I like the pendulum because it gets me in a very close, intimate contact with spirit. You can feel the energy in it, and it works really, really well. And I know Adrian's got a pendulum.
I do too. That makes three of us. I got one as well.
Absolutely. And I did a whole lot of studying because I want to know how this thing was working, And in my studies, I came up, and this is my own theory. Okay, so I'm not going to try to say this is absolutely the way it is, but it's my theory. You get skeptics saying, well, you're moving the pendulum, and they're right. You are, but it's subconsciously. And what happens is you get in a contact, an ESP type contact with spirit. And when you ask spirit to question, spirit knows the answer. And when spirit transmits the answer to you, you now know that answer. And depending on what you have set up for yes, no, or I don't know, you will subconsciously move that pendulum. You're not conscious of doing it, but subconsciously you will move it. And therefore, what spirit knows is transmitted to you, and it goes down through you subconsciously, and it moves the pendulum. Yes, no, I don't know, or sometimes it doesn't move at all, which means I can't say. And yes, some people hang them from a device and have them move that way, but in my opinion, that takes a lot more work on spirit's part, because spirit actually has to move the thing themselves. So I think using the pendulum is easier for spirit, and it makes for a more intimate contact with spirit when you're actually talking to spirit, because you've got this psychic lock on with them. Mm-hmm. And that's my view on it. And that's why I love to use the pendulum, because when that energy stops, that contact is broken, and you know that the communication, it's over with. Mm-hmm. And I use the pendulum. That's my main communication.
Yeah, you've helped me out in investigations doing that.
Yeah, there have been a few times. I always keep the pendulum near. I mean, it's within grab distance. Mm-hmm. Oh, that must feel better, huh?
Oh, that was in my hair.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I took the whip. It feels a whole lot better.
See, I wish I could say the same right now wearing this bald cap.
Oh yeah. Get the thing off. Be comfortable.
I can't. If I do take it off, this is a ball cap right here I'm wearing.
I can't even tell. or at least I can't.
If I
because
take it off, you'll see my hair then.
Well,
we know you have hair.
I don't. But Jim,
Yeah,
yes,
I'm
be
supposed to.
like the but they give the answer to your pendulum or what you're using. That is it. Sydney, I love using the pendulum as well. So, like I say, that's what I came up with. There's probably a dozen different theories on it, but that's how I see it. Is the energy comes through, and the pendulum moves according to the answer you get. Because if you don't know the answer, the pendulum isn't going to move.
Yeah.
And
And
when you know
it's
the answer,
really the same as when we communicate, which we communicate telepathically.
exactly. It's a telepathic communication. And that is a more intimate contact with spirit, as far as I'm concerned, than using a spirit box. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
and,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and I like using spirit box too, but I like using the pendulum. And you know, is spirit around right now? Well, I'm sure spirit is, because we're talking about these things.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll take the pendulum, and I usually just give it a wrap around my fingers like that. Okay, I'll hold my hand here, and I'm not moving the thing, but let's just see if we get anything. Can you see the pendulum?
Yep.
Okay, let's just
Denny,
see.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on solo layout so we can get a better look. So you'll be on full screen.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
All right, you're good.
Okay, now let's just try. I don't know if there is or not. So I'm just going to ask the question. Is there any spirit here that wants to communicate with us? If so, say yes or no. Okay, we can see the pendulum moving, and it's moving forward and backward, and that is my cue for yes. Thank you, spirit. Stop pendulum. Are you my spirit guide? No answer. Did I know you when you were alive? The answer is yes. Okay. Stop. Okay, I'll stop it. Okay. Were you related to me? The answer is yes. Thank you, Spirit. Is this my mother? No, it's not my mom. Is this my dad? That's my dad. Thank you, Dad, for taking part in this experiment. Please give Mom a kiss and a hug for me. Tell her I love her, if you will, please. Okay. Thank you, Dad. That's how it works.
Wow.
That's how it works.
And okay, so explain. Jan does the same thing. So explain your hand under it. What does that do?
Well, what my hand under it does is, I could have done it with the tabletop, except I can't tip the camera down that way. My hand under it, it's like that's another part of my body that is being influenced by spirit, and it's almost like it completes a circuit. And I like to do it a lot with my hand under it. In fact, the times that I've worked pendulum for you when you were on investigations, I put my hand under it, and I think it just completes a circuit better.
Yeah, I've seen Jan do. I just never did ask. I can't. I can see who's saying it, but I can't read all of it. I ain't even gonna try. Guys, we are at the end of the show. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I need a shower. That's
I
my hair.
That makes two of us. I gotta wash all
That
this.
is my
I gotta
hair.
wash all this makeup off because it's all over my face.
Yeah,
That's your
me
hair?
too.
Yeah, that is my hair.
Oh dear.
Oh my
My
god.
shower is white. It will never be white again after this.
No, it's
Ever.
done. It's done.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Kaboom.
I can see that. Oh,
Yeah.
Denny, thank you so much for being on with us. I love
Yes.
having you on. We're going to do this again.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we definitely will. Because honestly, with what you talked about tonight was just so fascinating.
Well, I'm with friends. I'm with people of like mind, and we can communicate well and share experiences, and that's what this is. That's what this is about. It's sharing experience. It gives folks like us a chance to be together as a community, and that's what this is, the paranormal community.
Yes, absolutely. And I doubt your shower is golden, Chris. But no, it's no,
Chris.
that you nailed it really well, though. What's up?
Chris. God. Chris, TMI. You and your golden showers? No, sir.
Ah, come on now.
But yeah, we will.
There's certain
Yeah, I
things in
mean,
this day and age I cannot get with, and that's one of them. I'm good. All right. Next.
well, I guess just before we do end for tonight, because Jeremy wanted me to just give a shout out about this. Next week's episode, we got. Hang on, I had the message up a second ago. Here it is. Okay, so for next week's episode, we got Kendall and Vera Welton as our guests for next week. We were originally supposed to have them. What was like about a month ago, Adrian? I think.
At least 3 weeks.
Yeah, at least 3 weeks ago, but we had to reschedule them. But now we finally got them scheduled for next week, and that will be just as great of a show. And then also in addition to that, actually 2 other show announcements. Tomorrow night, myself, Jeremy, and a few other show hosts. Which if you Adrian, if you want to come on as well, you're more than welcome to, because he's opening this up for the show host. We're going to be on Matt TV tomorrow at 6:00 Central Standard Time. So for a Halloween special. So we're going to definitely have a lot of fun with that. And then also for Saturday, because Jeremy wanted me to bring this up too, he'll be doing a special episode of 13th Dimension, which we're going to do on Saturday night instead of him doing the typical Friday night. That one also is going to have myself as well as Don, Kate, and Jen, who's been watching, will be guests on it at 7 Eastern. And we're going to be talking about different things about Stephen King. So got a lot of real exciting Halloween related stuff for this upcoming weekend.
Sounds like it's going to be great.
It is. But Denny, yes, thank you again so much for coming on again. It was great it was great for what you talked about. We'll definitely, like Adrian already said, we'll definitely have you back on.
Well, I'll be there when you want me to.
Come on. Jan, you see your baby? You see this?
What if she's
That's our
still
good
on?
girl.
Because I don't see her in the.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
So
now I have to give everybody else a bite too.
well, unless you had anything else to, you had
to
bring up, Adrian, I'm pretty much all ready to go.
No, I don't think so. I think we're good.
Good night, all.
All right. Yep. Everyone, thanks for playing along, hanging out with us. You'll probably see some of us tomorrow on Mad TV, but if not, you know what? I'll even say it now while we're on the show. Also, happy Halloween!
We're getting there. We're getting there.
got to say at least once on one of these shows since it's not on the actual holiday. So, yeah.
Yep.
All righty.
All right.
Again, thanks again, Dave. We'll have you back on. Everyone else, you guys all have a great night. Take care.
You too.